This is Boxing Tickets NI, and we're joined with Paul Hyland Jr. How are you, Hylo?
Don't know, mate, not too bad. Just chilling out. I
Um,
don't like to be sizing and all that, so I'm just chilled out in the house here.
your Saturday session done, and you have a Shiner. Where have you picked that up from?
Well, I was in sparring with the soon to be, well, he's already British champ, the boy defending his title here next week, Cacace. And I've done a load of rounds that week, and Duffy as well. Duffy's been helping me, so it was either one of them two lads banged me in the house with it. Thursday night, I think it was, or it's Wednesday morning. Sorry, it was.
Somebody's give you a favour for the weekend, then give you something to keep yourself reminding you're still in the
That's
sport.
it. Makes me look a wee bit hard, so it does. So I walk about now with a big black eye.
How's things with you? Obviously, it could probably be on uncertain times sort of for you. It was probably announced in November that you're obviously going to be fighting Liam Walsh for the British title.
Yeah.
Obviously,
It's
then
been a
went
long
through a
wait.
spell of the fight being postponed, and now you've had to change your opponent as well. But you still look obviously your confident self.
Yeah, 100%. See, to be honest, I know it's lockdown and times are tough and all, but the ability that I had to be able to still train, and the training that I've had, the sparring that I've had, this is probably one of the best I've felt, one of the best camps I've had to date. My strength is completely through the roof. My fitness is phenomenal, and my sparring's been top notch. I've been sparring a lot with James McKenna was helping me a lot at the start there, getting us ready for Welsh. His sharpness is top notch. He's sharp as a razor pin. He's helped me. He's brought me on in that way a bit, and then we tightened up a bit with Cacace and Duffy here. So I was helping Cacace also prepare for his British. He's out next week, and then Duffy's hopefully waiting on somewhere himself soon. So he is.
Yep.
So I'm feeling great, and I'm looking forward to watching store here.
And I'm guessing probably a good thing for yourself is that there's a lot more pros now in Belfast as well, particularly around your weight class, which makes it easy for your sparring as well.
Yeah, well, lightweights, around the lightweights or featherweights, boxing, not just in here in Belfast and anywhere, the boxers down weights are top notch on it, like, or some. They're like the main fights I think at the minute, but as you say, there's a lot of boxers around here, and we're all waiting on fights soon. The fights seem to be still pretty going ahead, pretty good, like. So there's people there to help you out, and you're there to help people out as long as you're training. It's good to get people in to help you.
Definitely is, and I guess obviously it's good in a way that obviously you fought for the British before, but obviously coming around your second attempt at the British title, and Cacace obviously lost his first time around, so sometimes
and Tenny as well. Tenny
as
lost
well,
round, lost Cacace, lost the award. So I'm gonna replicate them boys and get mine on my second attempt. I lost my first one, obviously the written, but I don't quit. I try again, come again. Hopefully, I'm confident that I'm gonna do it this time. As I say, it was the best I felt, and just my mentality for his fight is top notch. So I just feel pretty good for him. I'm actually buzzing to get in there and get it done.
Yep, and I'd say obviously second time around, and I think actually for Max this is going to be his third attempt as well. So whoever obviously becomes victorious has obviously kept the endeavour to keep going and not give up and keep trying. But it's just under 4 weeks to go now. 4 weeks, 3 weeks and 6 days to go. So
yeah, it's it. 4 weeks ago. As I said, I was meant to be fighting with Walsh, but they postponed it due to COVID complications. I don't know if it was him or his coach or whatever had it, and then he pulled out there, and Maxie just stepped in. I think Maxie was training away and stuff. So Maxie's a tough opponent. His fight's a bit different than Walsh, but it's something that I haven't been really training for anyway. I can adapt. I'm going to adapt over these next 3 weeks just to tighten up, but I don't really care who's in front of me. I've just got a vision in my head, and it's just me bringing that belt home. It's actually keeping it here in Belfast. Tenny's actually was the current holder. He's vacated, so now I'm looking to keep it back in Belfast where it belongs.
Exactly. And I think you shared a card with Max in Belfast before. He fought James Friars, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Indeed. Yeah,
I think I ended up being James's last fight. I think he actually put a post up last week, the week before, about how much weight he had to shift in fight week, and it sort of left him drained for the fight with Maxie. Not obviously taken away from the one, but I know Maxie's been over here quite a bit, training obviously in Crunk and stuff as well. So familiar face to look at.
Yeah, I've heard he's a nice lad. Mark likes him. Mark knows him. Mark says he's a really nice kid. You get on well around. He's probably sparring with James a good bit. I was actually meant to jump in sparring with him, but I can't remember. I think I had a fight close to that time or something, and it was too him to spar. But he was over sparring with Tenny and whatnot, and they says he's a nice lad. So look, don't hold no bad terms. It's a what would you say? It's like a business in it. We've
Yeah.
just got to get in and fight, but there's no bad things on it on my behalf. No one says on his behalf. We're just going to do a business and then may the best man win.
Exactly. And have you caught much of the MTK shows? Obviously, I know they've been doing the AFL shows for a few years now, but have you seen any of the shows during lockdown to see what you sort of anticipate, what you're going into, sort of, behind the closed doors thing?
Yeah, well, it's strange times in it for everyone at the minute. No crowds. It's just unusual. Maxie I think he's had a few fights on closed doors, so he's been used to it. I've been a bit more inactive, but we've tightened up, as I say. I've done a lot of sparring. I got a lot of sharpness back and ring rust away. But no, it's going to be working in the no crowds. I'm used to a big crowd walking in and all the atmosphere and all, but it won't put me off. Sometimes it could work in my favour because I get caught shots and I hear the crowds and I get drawn into the face too much. For now, I'll be able to be a wee bit more compact, composure, so it could benefit me in a way. So
funny, I have been mentioning it a wee bit. We want, sort of saying, where obviously if you're fighting in Belfast or things like that, obviously all your mates and everything you go drinking and stuff with are sort of going, hit me this or hit me that. All you're going to hear is your corner, and you'll be able to stick more to a plan.
Yeah, when you hear a big crowd buzz, you get fired up and you go in, and then you get called more shots than what you're meant to. But the crowd won't be able to pull you in, as you say, your corner. You're going to be able to hear every instruction that they're shouting. It's going to be closed, and so it could benefit you in a way, yeah.
And I know you've obviously fought behind closed doors yourself, obviously in the Poland show, but I guess it'd be a wee bit different, obviously fighting, fighting on this. And obviously, I think someone had said that they loved the whole fact that, I think it was actually Mick Conlon had said, he loved whenever he could hear his opponent once when he hit my body shot or something like that. So you can pick up that telltale sign more even if you hurt somebody.
Yeah, well, it's sort of similar to sparring, I would say. In spars, you can, when you catch someone, you're hearing a crunk or something, and if you say you hit them a body shot, you hear that grasp. So yeah, I would say you would be able to hear that there a bit more. But Poland there was a bit more leeway in Poland. There was actually like a smaller crowd in. It wasn't as like strict as they say. But yeah, here's a bit stricter than Poland sort of. So it would be strange to go into because I'm not used to it, but it won't disrupt me in any way, I would say.
Yep, exactly. Everybody has to fight, I guess, in the same way. For yourself and Maxie, obviously Maxie's a veteran now, obviously, at the behind closed doors.
Yeah, he's been very active.
Probably, if you had probably said he'd have done this fight before the pandemic, it probably may not have had as much exposure. But obviously, Maxie beating John O'Carroll has probably given him a bit more emphasis now. So it's actually going to have a bigger rankings boost as well, obviously, out the back of it as well. So it's probably going to do you a favour in the end up.
Yeah, he had a great win over Toronto, and then he actually went on it. He won the WBC, one of the titles there, so he did recently after that fight. So he's had a good run out, and we're both challenging for a fake and pretty. So I think it's my turn to take this belt for us, but
yeah, belt definitely staying in Belfast.
Yeah, it's it.
So,
definitely.
Just sort of looking back to sort of your start of your career, I always like to sort of ask, sort of what age did you start out boxing?
I think I was 12, around about 12, 11, 12. I think I had my first fight was at Antrums. I think I lost on a split decision. I can't mind who it was to. I think it was Tom McKenna. I'm not sure. I think Tom McKenna beat me. I was up with Packy Rooney. I'm not sure, one of the boys, and then I actually got to go down to Dublin on my next fight. Because there was no one at the weight later, and then I won the All-Ireland with my first year of boxing. And then I just fell in love with the sport. So I love getting down in the Irish team. I got to go down as like a boys team. Got to go down sparring down Dublin and all, and you were sparring, you seen all the seniors at that time. And it was just great experience, and I just fell in love with boxing.
And what was it that sort of got you in? Everybody's always got a story somehow, whether it's, somebody else they run about with, or whether they're being bullied or something like that. What was it that got you into the sport?
My granddad was actually Tommy Maxwell. He was a boxer with Freddie Gilroy and Gahuli and all them boys. He was a boxer. He would be a known boxer as well. I sort of just followed his footsteps. He used to bring me when I was a kid and used to love it. And then he was like a big supporter and idolized my granddad, so I did, and that was just why I fell in love with it.
Yeah, but
obviously he's passed away now, so he is, but I know he's always in the ring with me every fight, so he does. It was really close to my granddad, so it was.
And obviously we're winning the so soon on. Obviously, starting boxing, you sort of just want, well, this is for me.
Oh, that's it. You just fall in love with as a kid and achieving something like that. There, it's great. It's what it is. So I just fell in love with it, and then I got the boxing the ice team. Like, we got to have, I think it was the next year, we fought we round robin competition and stuff down in Dublin. It was great. It was great to get that level of boxing as well. In the first few years of boxing, fighting against, I think we fought against Germany and whatnot, and it was just a great experience and a great buzz as a kid. It just, you felt like a great achievement, and I just fell in love with it.
And sort of looking at your amateur career, of obviously what it shows in Boxrec, you actually fought Tenny, James Tennyson, whatever, McShane, McKenna Duffy, and Moylette, obviously all as amateurs. So when you sort of look at who you sort of fought amateur, it sort of built you well for the pros.
Yeah, 100%. As a kid, everyone's always been around the same weights, and you're fit. I can't remember half of the seasons and half of the ones we haven't fought. They were long times ago, but yeah, you fought as kids and then move up the pro scene, and then everyone takes their own journeys with it, and it's good to see people succeed in the pro ranks as well now. So it is. Amateurs doesn't. It's a kid. You're just kids, and you're just fighting along. But it's good to see everyone doing well in the amateur scene, like so it is, in their own journeys.
It definitely does, and I guess obviously as people, like they think obviously, I think actually Tyrone had actually fought Carl Frampton and stuff like that in the amateurs and things, and you sort of look back and you go, can't believe I fought such and such, and obviously you and James being stablemates and things now as well. You sort of look back then and you go, how did we ever get to the stage where we're so close to being part of the same team and stuff as well,
Yeah, it's it. It's just you're waiting for a competition, and there's about 8 or 9, 10 at your weight, and then you just draw people, and it's just an knocker competition. It's just a buzz when you were a kid, but then as you say, when you grow up seniors, and then me and Teeny, we've been as a team now about 7, 8 years, and we've sparred our whole way through it. We've always helped each other. We've been on the same shows and all. We've built our profile up together, so it's good now. We're both still progressing pretty well. He was the titles he's won, and now he's hopefully going for a world title soon, which is something that every boxer dreams to achieve. And now he's touched on the doorstep, and I'm going from a second chance of getting this British title.
And as I call him now, I think I brought a nickname out from the belt collector. And obviously James Jr. obviously is a wee tractor with collecting the belts as well, so he's a junior belt collector.
He's a wee tank, that kid, so he is. He'll be the same as Tinny. He'll be knocking people out in no time, so he will.
If he followed in his father's footsteps, I'm sure that the P1s and P2s will soon be starting to fear in no time.
P7s and everything. He'll be running the schools.
So I know sometimes when you sort of look back at your career, did you have any sort of regrets as an amateur, or was it just always a thing you were going to go pro, or was there something that sort of forced you to go into pros, or?
I have no regrets or anything. As an amateur, it was a good amateur career. The pro scene it was sort of going dry. You were fighting as a senior, you never getting in a fight in the Antrim seniors, and then you fought in the Ulster seniors. It was 2 fights a year. If you won the Ulster seniors, sometimes the Ulster senior team, or the Irish senior team was already picked to go and fight in all the big competitions and all. So all you were doing was fighting, and then you were progressing on. I actually remember fighting in the Ulster seniors, and I think I actually fought Sean Duffy. Sean Duffy beat me in the final or something like that. And Sean Duffy beat me in one of the finals. And Mark was there watching the fight, and he approached me after, and he had a good word with me, and it was just in my head and all. And I was actually at the time watching young Devenish McShane and a young Teeny fighting, and they were building their profile up, and it was class, and the buzz that you had about Belfast and stuff, and seeing them in the paper and all the time, and I was like, fuck, that's class. So Mark approached me, and then just to talk well, and we got on well, and then I decided to give it a go. I had actually just fought in the Ulsters, and then the next time I was fighting was like 9 months away, which was the Irish. It was coming up again at the start of the year. I had to wait all the time, and it was just crap waiting for the time to pass by. So he promised me 4 fights a year and all, and it was just something I loved so much once I started.
And obviously, think back, you're now approaching 7 years as a pro. 10th of May 2014 probably seems like a lifetime away.
Yeah, it does. So it does indeed. Time doesn't wait for no man, so it doesn't flies by.
And obviously Mark sort of stuck to his promise there as well. You four times in 2014 you fought, 5 2015, 4 again in 2016, and obviously that sort of led to you having some big nights. You probably your first big breakout night was in the York Hall and Nxt Gen show.
The York Hall show. Mark had been in touch with Eddie, I think it was, and then the guy was on the York Hall, fought a boy Peter Cope, who was cracking southpaw, 5 close feet, and I got the win. I got a well-deserved win, but that sort of brought our profile onto the matchroom shows a wee bit, and then with Burnett being a big matchroom boxer at the time, and he got the home shows here, got me and Tina and stuff involved in them, so that helped build our profile up a bit, which was good. Like.
And sort of Ryan sort of helped. I think sometimes he doesn't get the praise that he get, that he should get, but sort of Ryan getting to the stage of having the world title fight against Lee Haskins probably helped you and James on more.
Oh, big time, of course it did. He was the one who got Matchroom to bring the home shows to Belfast, got people of Belfast some cracking nights out. Our group was going to a showdown, and they obviously had the whole crowd, your whole home atmosphere, all cheering you on. You're walking out that stadium. It was unreal, so it was. But yeah, he got the home shows, and then it got me and Tina and stuff involved, and helped bring us along, but helped build our profile up. We won the 2 titles. I think me and Tina won our 2 first major titles on Matchroom shows in the Odyssey. So Rand did help us out big time, yeah, and much respect for him for doing it.
And he's both big ones that night as well too.
Yeah, I fought
Dingsdale,
yeah, I stepped in the first round, and then Teeny fought. Who was the other boy?
Did he fight Ryan?
Ran Doyle.
Yeah, he actually messaged. He actually replied something on Instagram earlier and said that he remembers that James is a big hitter, and it just reminded me, obviously, that he fought in that same card as well.
Yeah, Teeny had a crack with him. He's a well-profiled boxer too, and we had our two wins there. Actually, I remember a photo of me and Teeny standing for 2 belts in the change room after. I think he had a black eye or something. He had a tough fight. Like, your mom was a tough cookie. Fortunate enough for me, I just called Dingsdale earlier and got him rid of her. But the buzz we had in our hometown, and we were like celebrities in our hometown. It was class. It was, and that was obviously thanks to Ryan bringing the world title fight to Belfast in the Odyssey. So it was, so much respect for it there. Yeah,
definitely is. And obviously, I guess in some ways, sort of what happened to Ryan, obviously afterwards, is sort of give people more the realization that nothing's sort of guaranteed in boxing. Obviously his fight with Denair, they obviously they hurt his back again, and sort of been the end of him. It was sad to see, because obviously Ryan had serious talent that probably lots didn't even see.
Yeah, cracking talent, but as you say, nothing's promised in life, especially not in boxing. It was an unfortunate injury, and boxing is going to come to end sometime. So why not get on now instead of get more serious 30s? He's built a cracking profile up. He's some smashing fights. 2-time world champion. What an achievement to finish on, like.
Unbelievable.
Brilliant.
As I say, I can remember the nights in the Odyssey, like nearly still as if like yesterday, and
some buzz over.
Unbelievable, and I'm sure obviously you'd a sore head the next day, and it wasn't just for obviously fighting, it was obviously because of the atmosphere, having a good drink afterwards as well.
Yeah, it was class. They were brilliant times, so they were, but hopefully I come back here soon, or hope could be another one, hopefully possibly in the next few years, Matchroom coming back with Tina and Tammy and that there, so that would be good.
Yep, obviously I know that Matchroom have sort of flirted with it, and what as I call Mark the Magic Man, because obviously everything that seems to happen, it turns into something, but obviously Mark's been torturing to come back as well, so fingers crossed when we get out of this pandemic, you could have obviously big fights in the Odyssey again.
Yeah, that's it. Well, the Matchroom, I know there has been reports and stuff written about they could be coming back here. Tina obviously fighting for a world title. Tommy's European champion now. Hopefully I get this British title here, and then we can have our own shows here in Belfast and get our up and coming boxers and stuff on the shows. That'd be brilliant. Be a good thing to happen so well. Get a rerun in Belfast and the crowd's back out.
Definitely. I guess obviously everybody just wants to see boxing at the minute. They probably wouldn't care if it was a Matchroom show in the Devenish. It's just as long as it's something to go and watch.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. We're boxing on last night. Everyone was buzzing in. There's a few more Matchroom shows on the night. So we'll be looking forward to watching them shows. And Josh Kelly fight tonight.
Josh Kelly. He had a second pro fight on the Haskins undercard.
Yes,
I think you had him and Anthony Fowler on that card as well.
Yeah, he was indeed.
I think as time goes on, people look back at that card and they go, "Fuck! Look at the talent they had in that show," and they go, "Holy fuck! It's unbelievable."
Some cracking fighters on that show in Belfast. So you're right, some big names, and we had a cracking night of boxing, and then all successful. So it was class. It's class
And
memories. Look
Joe
back on.
McKenna actually had a big fight. He fought Garrido early on
Yeah,
that
he fought the
card.
French boy, so he did. He
And
was
I
fucking.
actually
He came in
forgot
with a
about it. There was
mask and all
actually
on,
a
didn't
war
he?
as well too.
He was a maniac. Him. He came in with a mask and the wind and all. Remember?
Yeah,
He had the big bear mask and all. Yeah, it's right. I throw footing that there. Some cracking wins for us.
it
Some
was.
good memories.
But do you think in sort of some ways, I guess sometimes if sometimes somebody won't follow you until you really make it in sort of boxing, but sometimes it's sort of remembering people going, look at the cards you missed because you didn't want to support some of these boxers sooner in their careers.
Yeah. Well,
People are sometimes
yeah,
stuck in the
possibly.
glory and go, do you know what? Hilo, I'll go and watch your fight whenever you're world champion, and you're going, well, come and support
No,
me now
no,
and watch me get there.
no. 100%. If a local person from your area is doing well and there's a big show and a night out, why not get a few mates and want to support them? So it's a little bit of support. It's nice to be nice to people, isn't it? Help drive them on, as you say. Why wait till someone's a world champion? Get behind them now from the start, but help them build their career towards being a world champion. Yeah, 100%, definitely.
Exactly. Like I remember that. I remember the Haskins card. I think a ticket started at 30 quid.
Yeah,
Which
that's
was crazy.
for the names and the talent on that show and sitting in the Odyssey having a few drinks with your mate if you were in the crowd there. That's priceless, let's say.
It's unbelievable. When you think of some of the shows now, and like I think was it the AJ show? I think tickets, 1,000 tickets behind closed doors there before Christmas. I think you were talking like that. Was it £100 or £200 they start off with, and then they rates up to like £1,000 or something a ticket. For a behind the closed doors show. It's mental.
Is that what it was? Right? It's mad. It's crazy money, isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
So £30 for a ticket to watch all your own home boxers and some sort of smashing talent over from England, as you say. That's nothing, so isn't it?
It's not. We sort of think back on it. Talk to me about about Mark Dunlop. I think sometimes Mark probably doesn't like to get the praise in a way, but obviously, how important has Mark been, for the career, obviously, of the boxers he's had? Yeah. He always seems to be a hard-working man and doesn't like the credit, but he loves you to get the credit.
Yeah, Mark's always under a lot of stress when it's coming up the face, but it's because he's always doing his best to make sure we get the best out of it. From my same pro, I could never say that I wanted to ever be a different manager. Mark's been more than good to me. He's brought me along well. Mark has our promoters and managers, like they don't care as much about their boxers, but Mark always has his boxers' interest first, so he does. And I can honestly say that there. He's look at Tommy as well from St. Louis for him, and Mark's done for Tommy. He's always brought us along pretty well, and I'm always thankful for everything Mark does for me. He always sticks by his word, so he does.
It's unbelievable. And I say, obviously, anybody I've spoke to has obviously fought in Mark shows and everything else. Nobody could ever say a bad word about him, and just seems to be growing the stable from strength to strength.
Yeah, he is indeed. Nice, and Connor Quinn as well. Young Connor Quinn's a smashing talent, and then Big Nicholas as well. He's a nice lad. So it'd be good to get them boys up and started soon and see how well they progress. But under Mark's stable, I would say that things are looking great for him. So
definitely would. You obviously nearly have a stable of fighters enough now just to fill the Matchroom show himself and go, Eddie, you don't need to worry about anybody else. All my fighters are here.
Yeah, let's get us all on the show, on home show.
So obviously for anybody that may not know, obviously your father obviously is your coach, trainer, everything all rolled in one. How hard is it being a boxer, obviously having to listen to your father even when you're fighting?
Yeah, it is very hard, but one thing is that they'll always be harder on you, but they've always got your best interest at heart. I'm always thankful for everything my dad does do for me. Even though we fight all the time and argue and stuff, but he's always got my best interest at heart, and he'd never let no one take advantage of me or take a hand. So we have a good partnership with it.
Yep, and I guess sometimes your father won't know you more than nobody else will know you better than your own dad. So if things are going tough in a fight, or he knows he has to get something out of you, he knows how to wind you up to get the best out of you.
Yeah, 100%. They know what buttons to push, and they'll always know if you're getting too much or whatever, if everything's out of place and whatnot. So yeah, no one will know you better, obviously, than your father.
So if we hear him in your fight with Maxie Hughes saying, "Will you clean your room?" We know what he's trying to do. He's trying to rile you up. Obviously, another one has obviously been a massive thing, and he's pretty much like a brother to you as well as Tinny.
Yeah.
How obviously has it been watching? I know from speaking to Dan McShane before, Dan obviously sort of away fell out of love of boxing because he knew he didn't have a talent that James had.
Yeah.
How great has it been watching? He's pretty much come through round. I think James started off about a year or so before you, but how has it been watching? And just going from strength to strength.
Unreal, as I say, me and Tini built our profile up from the start. Yeah, Tini had started a few years pro before me, but when I started pro, we knew each other before we were both pro. As you say, we fought in the amateurs match, but when we turned pro, when we were mates outside the ring and training things, like we would have went there and had a drink with each other. We were still good mates, so we always helped drive each other on more. And then we sparred for years, their whole career. Which always helped push each other on. Then we ended up in the same shows and we've been winning titles together. So watching him and I progress, like Teddy's not one to, he doesn't try and get he didn't ever try and win like back doors. He always took on the hard opponents like Ward and stuff. They were the bigger names, and look what he's done there. He's took their belts off and he's built his profile up. And now they're talking about getting them world title fights, which is every boxer's dream, isn't it, to fight for a world title. So it'll be good to see him achieve that there.
I know obviously he fought before for world title with Farmer.
Yeah, who's a cracking
but obviously
talent, there's no shame.
I know the next time around, obviously, nothing to be left to chance in any way, and he'll sort of that experience from the Farmer fight to help him the next time around.
Yeah, but he's a lot stronger at this weight. He seems a lot more settled, like himself, physically stronger, and it doesn't drain him as much. I think he always had the trouble making weight. He was always a big lad for the weights, but he seems more settled at this weight, and it'd be good to see how he copes now with one of the big names as world champion. I believe he's got the power to knock anyone out of sparring. I'm still sparring. We sparred not too long ago at the start of before his fight, and the power he has in both hands is insane.
It's unbelievable.
It's from a first round to the 6th round or the 10th round, whatever round it be you're sparring. The power doesn't deflate. It just stays the same. It's crazy.
You sort of said him right today. Just you go 20%, give me a chance here.
The way give me a sore head tonight.
I know they say sometimes sparring can be easy, but I don't know. Whenever you're having to spar, when you're sparring him, there's never going to be an easy part to it at all.
No, that's it, 100%. But that's what I'm saying. We have to drive each other on more, so we're doing. We've always done that our whole career, so it's good to see him succeed. And I would say he would always feel the same way about me. He would always support me and stuff. So it's good stuff.
And obviously, at the age of 30 now, you're obviously due to become a father for the first time in June. Is it starting to scare? Is it starting to scare you probably more than making weight or having a fight now? You're going to be a dad.
Yeah. No, it's very exciting. I was scared to start obviously finding out and hearing, but no, it's very exciting now. It's actually due 3 days before my birthday, so it could possibly be on my birthday. We're gonna have a wee girl coming, so my focus now is just get this belt and then get everything ready for the kid coming. That's my focus for this year.
Yep, and I say obviously what about the one for your wee girl coming as well? Probably I would probably say it's probably the most special belt in boxing because of there's no other belt like it.
Yeah, it's like a prestigious belt, isn't it? It's one you want to win, and I remember seeing Q Russell's one. He won his outright, and his the real gold-plated one, and it's held out. It's just a smashing belt. I love a British title belt. I remember the first time I actually properly seen it was Martin Lindsay when I was back down in the Immaculata. Martin Lindsay came in after winning his Appleby one. I think he beat Appleby. And he came in the Immaculata with his belt, and I held it, and I was like, "Fuck man, I want to turn pro and win that one day." I remember seeing that there, and I was a lot younger, and it's just a belt that I've always wanted to win now, so I have.
Yeah, but obviously, of getting close to it. Well, fighting for it before against Ritson, and obviously, probably. Would it be fair to say you probably weren't able to give a good account of say on the fight because obviously Ritson was just a bull on that night, and even though he planted your feet and tried to have a go, you still couldn't dump him at all.
Yeah, it was just like Kings were written out for him at that time. At that moment in time, it was just his time. He won. Unfortunately, it was different factors that affect me in the fight. I just never performed myself. I was a bit gutted because people see me, but it wasn't me. Like I never got to properly get started. And he won it for a play to him, but this time I'm more focused. There's nothing sort of feel hold me back, and I just feel now it's my time to go and get this belt.
Yep, and obviously, they always say that the first round of fights more about gauging and sort of watching their fight and seeing for their feints and everything else, and it was the total opposite where it's as if he pretty much like as if he caught you cold sort of thing. You didn't get a chance to even get your legs
Yeah, he
going.
did. He caught me early on. He actually hit me where I was caught a shot in the back of the head, and it sort of really dazed me. And then he caught me again and thundered me, and I just never really got focused and got recovery right. The referee didn't really give me a chance either. He was counting me out. He was saying it was a 3 knockdown rule, but I just wanted to get back to the corner at the end and regroup myself, but I just never got that. Unfortunately, never got that chance. But look, it's in the past. It was a loss. Like you learn from it so well, and it's helped. It's shown from it. I fought Batera. Unfortunately, it was a body shot stabbed me. I was from a cut in my head. I couldn't actually see half of the shots coming around the side, and he knew that's why he kept going to the right side of the body. But I've progressed on and I've done pretty well in that fight. So hopefully it all comes to plan in this fight and I get the job done.
Yep, definitely. As I say, it's none more so in ourselves. We obviously well on in your corner. Where do you sort of 30 years of age? You say sometimes you come into the twilight years of sort of boxing. Where do you see your future in the sport, and what would you still like to achieve?
Well, see me winning this title and defending it. Who that may be, we'll find out soon. Hopefully soon enough. I would like to get. I know Patera. He beat me for the EBU title, but I know he was meant to fight for a world title there recently, which he had to pull out due to COVID. So I would like a chance to fight for that again. Some near future. He's going to fake hit that obviously. I think he made a fake hit it. No, I'm not too sure. But that does still at the lightweight title scene. So I would like to defend this British and go move on to European then. And then just whatever progresses from there. Mark's always the man in charge. Mark always has the best routes for us, it's shown. And he picks a fight, lines them up, and I don't fear no man. Whoever I've always been told to get in with, whoever Mark's getting me towards, I'll go on and fight. But he's a brains out race and I just do the fighting.
And I guess obviously when you've had Tomic won the European, you've had Tennyson won the European, and the European belt always seems to land you high rankings to get in a world title as well. So it could come very close. You could be fighting for a world title, and you're going happy days. I'll take it.
If you get that European, it gives you the proper rankings, and there's a possible fight there for world titles. It's every boxer's dream to fight for a world title, but love to fight for a world title. It's just ask any boxer, they'll say, "Yeah, I want to fight for a world title." So it's all future in front of me, and it's everything you dream to fight for.
Starting one fight at a time.
100%.
So obviously we've had some obviously big fights coming up. We've obviously Anto defending the British title next week. Which obviously he's been helping each other for your fights. You've Gary Cully obviously coming up now. He fights in the same card as Lewis Crocker. He's fighting for European WBO European. Did you catch Sean's fight last night against Gavin Gwynn?
Yes, I did indeed. I watched the fight. Unfortunately for Sean, it just was meant to be last night. Gwynn's a tough competitor. I know Tini just took him apart, but Tini's powers second to none. But unfortunately for Sean, he just didn't keep him off him. But look, there's no shame in a loss like that there. Half the people don't even have the guts to get in the ring and do it. So fair play to Sean, and Sean will be back again. I know what he's like. He's a tough cookie.
Yep, and obviously, I wanted to have something to say about his ring walk, but obviously with the defeat and stuff last night, Sean's probably the only one who can get away with it, and obviously having them songs and coming out to him, and they actually really seem to enjoy the ring walk as well, and you're sort of going, please win so that we can obviously share this, but obviously it's just going to be stuck for another day to say, I remember when Sean come out to this, but as you say there, Sean's a strong character and he'll come back from it. I guess when you get...
He's a strong person, but he likes to have a laugh too with ring walks and all, but when it comes to it, he can be focused on what needs to be done 100%, yeah. But as I say, he'll come back again. Look, everyone loses at some point in their career. Tini lost one of his early fights, and I look at him. A lot of people do. I think the only ones that doesn't lose was Floyd Mayweather, but that's different level on it. But you learn from a defeat, and it can push you on more, so it can. It helped push me on a bit, so it did. So I wouldn't let him affect him too much, or I wouldn't care what people say. People always have their opinions, but they wouldn't have the balls to get in there half in themselves.
Yep. As I say, I sort of purposely, obviously, when people were replying to comments stuff last night and things, were saying Sean quit, blah blah blah, whatever. It's not up the fans, or it's not up the even probably media
No,
say
it's no one's
sometimes.
deciding. It's
You know,
entirely up to Sean. Yeah, no one has a call in that there. No one can judge anyone on anything to do unless they have the. They have someone they have the balls to train, so they wouldn't have the way Sean does. And let them get in fight. If you're in a fight and you're getting taken too much punishment, and he just didn't fancy it. It's completely his call. No one else has really a say in the matter, so I don't.
exactly, because I think sometimes people don't forget is how brutal a sport it can be, and if it wasn't for the measures they sort of have in place, sometimes somebody may be lucky to be able to walk when they go to the ring again. So it's better having to make a call for himself in a fight rather than leaving it too late and somebody saying, well, why do you not just do this or do that?
100%. Taking blows to the head isn't good. It won't be good in the future, I would say. But there was another boy it happened to, Pritchard Cunliffe. He was fighting in a big fight. I can't remember who it was he was fighting, and he was getting hit in the ring. And went on to like eighth round or something, and he kept getting head blows in the back of the head. And he was a cracking boxer. You type in YouTube to see him, Pritchard Cunliffe. And then he ended up in a wheelchair. He couldn't speak and all after that fight. He collapsed in the change room. So it just shows you like getting punched in the head's it's not good for any man. Like, so if you're taking too much punishment or you feel affected in any way, it's entirely your call, and fuck what anyone says.
Exactly.
100%.
And I say I echo them statements as well. People have only go out there and have a go at somebody for losing. At least they had the balls and they're in the ring to start with to go and have a fight.
Yeah, people will be too quick to judge off someone's downfall, but yet you're meant to help people and bring them up a bit when they're feeling a bit down. But that's just the way people are, isn't it? Some people are too quick and judgmental to think of someone's downfall.
Definitely is. Well, look, obviously, we'll leave it there with you. Obviously, I think I probably had a few more questions, but we sort of went away from the sort of structure we had. We'll obviously wish you all the very best for your next couple of weeks of camp. Was it 3 weeks and 6 days? You'll probably be counting down now.
4 weeks yesterday, 4 weeks yesterday. My weight's all good, and feeling good and strong. My strength coach, Emma Brown's been taking me on this one. She's been doing my basic strength. My power, the weights that I'm doing now at the minute and how progressed on the strength wise, I've never done them before. And I'm feeling really strong. Cacace, Cacace already was saying I'm hitting pretty hard. He's looking great too. He's in great shape. He's hitting hard. So I wish him the best of luck for next week coming up, and look forward to him defending that title. Look forward to watching that fight, and look forward to me getting in and getting the belt and bringing an arm to Belfast.
Definitely is, and keeping that train going. Then we'll be looking for another Mark Dunlop fighter at lightweight then to take over from you. Then when you give it up, that belt 100%. Just staying in the stable forever.
That's it. Just keep progressing on, keep the movement going. Yep.
It definitely is. Well, Paul, listen, obviously, thanks for having a chat with us, and I'm sure we'll catch up again soon.
Yes, 100%, mate. I'll do.